Hi, I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. Today we're going to do a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It's my top 3 podcasts for personal injury lawyers. And I want to tell you that I spend a lot of time on the road. I spend a lot of time in my car. I spend a lot of time talking on the phone in my car, but I've got offices in multiple areas, offices in Delaware, offices in Maryland. I've got offices in Pennsylvania, and I'm on the road a lot. I have a pretty spread out legal practice. So when I'm in the car and I'm driving, if I'm not talking on the phone to a client or talking on the phone with another attorney, I like to listen to podcasts. I used to listen to the radio. They took Howard Stern off the radio. I didn't want to pay for satellite radio. That was a number of years ago. I've been a little disgruntled about that ever since, but I've discovered podcasts. I go on my iPhone and my iPhone syncs up to the Bluetooth in my car. Instead of listening to the radio, I listen to podcasts. Recently, I have discovered that there are other trial lawyers out there, other personal injury lawyers out there who are doing podcasting, and I find it extremely inspirational. So I wanted to do just a short video. And if you're, hopefully you get some value out of this. If you are a member of the general public and you want to learn more about the behind the scenes stuff that personal injury lawyers deal with, if you're another attorney or maybe you're a law student, you'll check out some of these podcasts. For me, it's kind of like Thomas Edison said that, success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Well, I think that this sort of feeds into the 1% inspiration, because when I get to hear a podcast, when I get to hear an interview by a personal injury lawyer with another very successful lawyer who's talking about his trials, who's talking about things that happen in trial or trial techniques or strategies, it really gets me amped up, it gets me excited, and it gets me excited to go do good work for my clients. So here's my top 3 podcasts. Number 1, Under Oath with Rich Lamuro. Rich Lamuro is a personal injury and criminal defense attorney out of Freehold, New Jersey, and he's had a lot of success in his own right, but he started this podcast a couple years ago, and he's done interviews with famous attorneys about famous high-profile trials. I'll give you some examples. In the first couple interviews that he did, the first couple episodes of the podcast, he interviews F. Lee Bailey, and the interview is brilliant, absolutely wonderful. Bailey talks about the O.J. Simpson trial. He talks about why he believes O.J. Simpson is actually innocent. Why he didn't do it, why he didn't murder his wife and her friend. He talks about the gambit to get Christopher Darden to try to get O.J. to try on the glove, and how that's much more effective to have the prosecution do it than if it had been done by a defense attorney. There's a really good episode with Alan Dershowitz, and Alan Dershowitz talks about the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky case. He talks about the Mike Tyson case. He's got an episode on the McDonald's hot coffee trial as well. He's got an episode interviewing Tom Mesereau, who was the attorney that represented Michael Jackson. In any event, it's a very inspiring podcast. If you are a trial lawyer, whether you're a personal injury lawyer, a criminal defense attorney, or really any attorney at all who ever has anything to do with trying cases, I would highly recommend that you listen to Rich Lamuro's podcast. It should, I get it on my iPhone on the podcast app. It's probably something that you can get using other apps as well. There's a website for it, underoathpodcast.com. The second one that I listen to all the time is Trial Lawyer Nation with Michael Cowan. And basically, Michael Cowan is a personal injury lawyer. He's a trial lawyer. He's got a very active, very successful practice. He interviews great trial lawyers about their cases and about their trial strategies. And I find it to be very interesting. It's helpful information. I'm interested not only in getting excited about what I do, but I'm interested in honing my craft. And I think other trial lawyers who actually try cases are also interested in honing their craft as well. He's got some episodes that are just brilliant. He's got Keith Mitnick, who's a Florida trial lawyer from Morgan & Morgan, who's got a ton of great trial experiences. He's got Michael Watts on running a successful law practice. He's got Joe Freed, who does truck accident litigation. He's got David Ball, who everyone knows is an expert in, basically a jury consultant. He's an expert in crafting the damages portion of a personal injury or wrongful death case. David Ball, I just listened to the episode, and he talks about finding alignment between what you want and what the jury needs. And I think it's just absolutely a brilliant episode. Anyways, the website for this podcast is triallawyernation.com. The third one is a podcast by an attorney named Brian Panish. It's called Get in the Game, and it's absolutely fantastic. Every time there's a new episode, I can't wait to get in the car and drive to one of the offices and hopefully have a long drive or get stuck in traffic and listen to the new Get in the Game episode. Basically, this is a podcast where Panish interviews top trial lawyers about trial strategies. And in one episode, he interviews a guy named Joe Power from Power, Rogers & Smith. They talk about a couple of cases. One case was a automobile wreck involving an exploding gas tank and a $100 million verdict. He talks about another medical malpractice case involving double amputations and a jury verdict of $96 million. It's interesting to me to hear how other lawyers in other jurisdictions try their cases, the techniques they use, the rules they have to follow, because it's different from every state, from state to state. Every state has different rules about how you select a jury, what you can say in your closing argument. I just find it's just amazing. Another episode that I thought was really good is the one with Rex Paris, who's a California personal injury lawyer, and he gave a ton of tips on trial strategy. In any event, these are my top 3 most inspirational podcasts for personal injury, wrongful death, trial lawyers, criminal attorneys too. If you're an attorney, if you're a law student, if you're a member of the general public, check them out, listen to some of these podcasts, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you know of podcasts that are sort of in the same vein, personal injury lawyers interviewing other personal injury lawyers about trials that they've had, about trial techniques, or about how they run their personal injury law firm, or if you know of a podcast, if you've stumbled upon a podcast involving, criminal defense cases, criminal defense attorneys, jury trial techniques and tactics, give me a comment or send me an email. My email address is ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com. Thanks for watching.